Hi viewers, Purple Celery here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing episode 8 of series 12 of Doctor Who, The Haunting of Villa Diodati. Now, I actually hope that I said that correctly because I don't think the name was actually used in this episode, so Diodati, I'm not too sure. This adventure sees the Doctor and her companions travel to Geneva in 1816, where Mary Shelley and her mates are goofing off in a rather luxurious villa. Now, the Doctor and her team are hoping to join in and listen to the ghost stories that the friends tell each other, including the one told by Mary Shelley that will eventually become the novel Frankenstein. But instead, mysterious things are afoot. There's creepy skeletal hands skittering around. Mary Shelley's de facto husband, Percy Shelley, is missing. And soon the Doctor and her companions find themselves trapped in certain areas of the house, a bit like an Escher picture, like they leave through one door and they come straight back into the room the other door. The thing that struck me most about this episode was the atmosphere. It was really atmospheric. The rain, the candles, the lighting, it was really creepy. The whole people trapped inside an old house while a storm rages outside reminded me a bit of the classic 1932 horror movie, The Old Dark House. It's a really good movie, by the way. It stars Boris Karloff, who incidentally also played the role of Frankenstein. It's really good, so yeah, do check it out if you have the opportunity. But this episode was also leavened with some humour. My favourite scene in this episode was Ryan trying to play chopsticks on the piano and Mary Shelley saying, "Oh, what a jaunty song." That line definitely made me chuckle. There were a lot of characters in this episode, but it never felt overcrowded. I did enjoy the guest cast, especially the young people. I thought that they played the attractive, rich, young crowd very, very well indeed. I do have to say though, who calls their child Claire Claremont? I mean, come on, that's just cruel. So, spoiler alert, the mysterious doings turn out to be caused by the lone Cyberman. And this was a big surprise to me. I wasn't expecting the lone Cyberman to feature quite so soon in this series. I thought that it'd feature more in the finale, but not as early as episode 8. And of course, we remember Captain Jack's warning from episode 5 to beware the lone Cyberman. Don't give it what it wants. And of course, what does the Doctor do? She gives the lone Cyberman what it wants. It, in this case, being the Siberian thingo, the fount of all Cyberman knowledge, etc., etc. And this leads me into my next point, the Doctor in this episode. I mean, goodness gracious me, the Doctor was not a happy camper. She was faced with yet another impossible choice. Does she allow the Cyberman to kill Percy Shelley, thus saving millions, if not billions, of people in an unspecified future and also prevent a cyber war? Or does she save Percy Shelley's life, thus condemning all of those people to a potentially horrible death? The speech that she gave her companions about how the hierarchy sometimes isn't flat, how sometimes it's mountainous, and she's on top of the summit making all the choices, that was pretty dark. It was hard to tell what the companions made of that speech because they didn't really seem to react that strongly to it. Having said that though, there was obviously like a lot going on, so it's possible that we'll see their full reactions in next week's episode. There were little things that I particularly enjoyed about this episode. I liked, for example, the Doctor's waistcoat. I also liked the callback to Bill Potts. I think there was a line where the Doctor says something like, "I'm not going to let anyone else be harmed by a Cyberman." Of course, the last time that she encountered a Cyberman was when her companion Bill was converted into a Cyberman. So yeah, I can see how the horror of that has stayed with her. I also liked Graham in this episode, how he saw the ghosts. I thought that they would tie into the main plot of this episode. Obviously not, they were just apparitions that only Graham saw. I also liked how it was clear what the inspiration for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein novel was. The whole different body parts, the whole being reanimated by a bolt of lightning. This episode also raised the mystery of who Yaz's person was. So when she was talking with Claire Claremont early in the episode, and Claire was telling Yaz about her feelings for Lord Byron, and Yaz said something like, oh yes, you know, I know a person like that too. There was, I guess, that ambiguity as to who she was referring to. Now, I think that there's two main contenders here, the Doctor or Ryan. And I think that we're being set up to think of Yaz as referring to the Doctor here. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually Ryan. I just wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this series it's clear that like Yaz and Ryan have developed feelings for each other. I could be totally wrong about this, of course, but yeah, that's just my theory. Overall, I thought this was a pretty good episode of Doctor Who. It sets up the two-part finale nicely. It's clear that the Doctor and the fam are going to different times in the past and the future to fight the Cybermen. So yeah, that looks quite exciting. I'd probably give this episode about 8 out of 10. I did enjoy it a lot. And so in closing, I'll just leave you guys with this quote. Knowledge is knowing that Frankenstein was not the monster. Wisdom is knowing that Frankenstein was the monster. So on that note, I'll say goodbye. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And please tune in next week when I will review episode 9. Until then, take care, viewers. Thank you again for watching. See you later.